It's your boy, Baker Turtle, aka Scott, bringing you another episode of the podcast. This time, it's a One Piece time, guys. One Piece time. Yes, you know what that means. Chapter 966 of One Piece has dropped. I know I'm a bit late, guys. I know I'm late, but the holidays, Christmas, and I've been busy with fam and all that stuff, so don't trip. I still got the video here, so if you happen to want to listen to me review this chapter, here's the video. And let's get started into it. So as you guys should know by now, especially with all the scanlation drama, you can read the chapter for free on the Viz Media app, the Shonen Jump app on it's right here, as you can see right there. It's a Shonen Jump app. I'm using my tablet to read the chapter, and yeah, so this is the second video podcast that I'll be doing. I already have the one for chapter 965. If you guys want to check that out, it's on YouTube. I also have it on podcast form and all the different podcasting platforms. So go ahead and check out last week's review. As for right now, we have chapter 966. This one's titled Roger and Whitebeard. Interesting. Roger Whitebeard. So remember last week, it was we just ended with us seeing the Roger Pirates because Odin was with Whitebeard, and that was a pretty epic chapter itself. We had the Kotozumi plan plot revealed, and we had all of Odin's adventures. We had Momonosuke being born and all this stuff, and now we have Roger and Whitebeard and Odin about to meet. I'm pretty sure this is where I'm not going to lie to you guys. I already read the chapter, but this is more of a review. I'm going to be reading the chapter to you guys so that you guys can just read along if you guys haven't read the chapter already. But, and then I'm going to be reviewing the chapter and the implications after that. And then afterwards, I'm going to be talking about the episode 915 anime. So stay tuned for that later on after the manga review. So, as of right now, again, remember I said on the Viz Shonen Jump app, I will be reading the chapter for free. So go ahead and check it out and read along with me. So here we go. Without any further ado, let's see what happens with Roger and Whitebeard. So this is where Odin joins Roger, right? Because we know that Odin ends up joining Roger for his final voyage and helps him with the poneglyphs. So on the cover here we have she says Chiffon. So Beige's wife Chiffon is arrested by the Navy at the Salon. So interesting. So we see this. So to you, does that look like Chiffon or does that look like Lola to you guys? Because I'm not too sure myself. I'd have to look because there are some differences. I remember seeing the differences between them, but very interesting. Lola was supposed to already be here at Dressrosa, so maybe the Marines, while looking for Chiffon and Beige, actually found Lola. So interesting to see where this goes. So that's volume 16 of the cover story. Hopefully we get some more before the cover story ends. I don't want this to just end with nothing serious happening. I want Lola and Chiffon to meet. I want this to end up having something to do with Big Mom's past. So anyway, first page, we see it says, "Here he comes, it's the samurai!" Rah! And it says, "The one I've heard about," Roger says. And so, "Wait, Commander Odin, am I supposed to steal the treasure?" he says. So I guess he doesn't really know how pirating goes. So he's like, "Am I supposed to steal the treasure?" He's like, "These people are different from our usual foes. The Roger Pirates are bad news." So he doesn't know anything about the Roger Pirates, and he's just going to attack them. He thinks they're just some normal pirates. He says, "Odin, two-sword style, Gun Madoki." So we see Gun Madoki, and I listened to the One Piece podcast and the official, unofficial One Piece podcast, and the translator of Viz Shonen Jump. He's on the podcast, so he explained that this one is Madoki is kind of like a Japanese word for something like that's something like. So like it usually with animals, like maybe like a cat is like like a leopard or something like that. I don't know. But Modoki is like gun-like. So gun-like, gun Modoki. So we see him just like two sword style just slash through some freaking some pawns here. Some nobody, some goons. And then it says, the stories are true. He's mighty. And then we see Scopper Gabon and Rayleigh. They're like, oh shit, our turn. They're like, we should nip this in the butt, huh, Rayleigh? Rayleigh says, I think so. And then we hear, Gabon, Rayleigh, stop. I wouldn't want you guys to get hurt. And we see Roger running past them with a big old smile. Reminds me so much of Luffy. He's a big old cheesy smile. Like, I don't want you guys to get hurt. And then they're like, you just want to fight. And then Odin says, I smell a wild beast. And then he says, hey there, samurai. He pulls his sword back. And then we see whoosh, divine departure. So we see a named attack by Roger. So this is Roger's first attack that we see. He just utterly obliterates Odin here. He just slashes him right in the stomach. Odin's grimacing. We see the hockey. We see the slashes. An epic panel, you guys. You guys got to see this. Look at that. Divine departure. That shit's crazy. So the Odin's shook. He's like, huh? And he gets blown back. Fucking far as fuck. Hits the tree. Big old explosion. Oh, this is a double spread. Oh, shit. And then he says, I say, what was that? I need to have a word with you. And so I guess he didn't like being blown back like that. He was really shocked. And he's like, I got to see who this is. And then we see Whitebeard pulling his sword back, or whatever that's called, a scimitar, or it's not a scythe exactly. You know, I don't know what the correct word for his weapon is. But then we see Roger pull his sword up, and we see the hockey from both. And you gotta love the ink on this. Look, you can see the scratching of, I don't know if you guys can see how there's like, it's scratchy hockey. And then we see an epic panel. Guys, I gotta draw this. This is crazy. Roger and Whitebeard clashing. Look at that. That's gonna be my thumbnail, guys. Look at that. Holy shit. Wow. So I really like that. I love the ink on that. And you guys gotta take a look at this. So whang. So we see the light with the hockey. And then because of the light from the hockey, I'm guessing there's Conqueror's hockey and Armament hockey, and they're not even touching. And we see like it's like cracking in the middle, and we see the light like just give off these epic shadows. The shadows on Roger, on his sword, on Whitebeard's sword, on Whitebeard's coat, and then Odin shook. He's like, they're not even touching. And then Whitebeard's smiling. Roger's smiling. We see the light from their eyes, like someone put it, you know how when you have a flashlight under your face and we see the light, it's just like that. Just the shadowing of this is great. And then we see it shakes the whole island, just and it says, the ship. So we see, look at that. The ship. You seem well to me, Roger, says Whitebeard. He said, how many years has it been, Newgate? And then both at the same time says, drop your valuables and leave. So they're both just standing there. And then we see the Whitebeard pirates. We see Marco. We see Jozu. We see Whitey Bay. We see all of them. And they're saying, let's get them. And then we see Scopper Gabon and Rayleigh and the Roger pirates saying, take everything they got. And so it's going to be like a clash of the two different pirates. So, and then we have some narration here. We see the island. We see, like, look at all that. Look at the clouds up there and the stuff. Like, we see it. Definitely some shit's going down here. It says, it was a clash of two great pirates of the time. The Roger pirates versus the Whitebeard pirates. Their pitched battle lasted for 3 days and nights. Yo! 3 days and nights? And it says here, 4 days later. Hey, I like this shirt. Where'd you get it? Wait, you're taking too much. It's gotta be an even exchange. This southern booze is good stuff. How about 3 boxes of jerky? The attempt to pillage each other has become a gift exchange, says Rayleigh. So I guess they got like Secret Santa going on over here, you know? Shit. So So I guess they're all cool and they have a fight and they're all making up and they're no hard feelings. They're just exchanging valuables and I mean I guess that's how it goes. And this is like what true pirating is about, right? And then we see Blackbeard teach. Well, he's not Blackbeard yet, so we see Teach down here. Woo, Teach and Shanks meeting. I like that. I like this. So it says, are they apprentices? Teach asks Marco and Jozu. He says, yeah, they've been around for ages. And then he says, they don't look very tough. And he says, yet they got the attitude of grown men. And then we see Teach just like, huh? And then Buggy and Shanks are talking now. So Buggy says, you see that guy wearing the hat, Shanks? So I guess they're talking about each other. He says, and Shanks is like, yeah? And then Buggy says, I heard he didn't sleep a wink during the ceasefire last night or the night before. And then Shanks is like, huh? Why not? And Buggy says, they say he's never slept in his life. And Shanks is like, what? Is that even possible? Lucky guy. I bet his life has been twice as fun. And then Buggy says, that's the point. Don't you get it? He's a monster. Some pretty important revelations here about Blackbeard. He's gonna get that theory noodle thinking, you know what I mean? A lot of people in the fandom gonna be talking about this. I'll talk a little bit more about it in the review, but that's huge for Blackbeard's backstory. So then we hear, so you can read this? And he says, yes, I can. And he says, I can read it, but how do you possess this text? He says, this is the secret cipher of the Kozuki clan of Wano, passed down strictly from generation to generation. So this is Whitebeard, Roger, and Odin talking. And he says, it all started 13 years ago when we landed at the destination of the final log pose, where no one had ever reached before, a place called the Lodestar Island. Interesting. So Lodestar, if you guys don't know what Lodestar is, for navigating with ships and stuff like that, it's basically the star in the sky that you keep course with, and it helps you with your direction and stuff like that. I guess it's a star that never really moves. It stays there, stays put. And so if you keep your ship going towards that lodestar, it will go the same direction every time or something like that. I don't know exactly, but it's something like that. Maybe look into it a little bit more. Anyways, he says, but when we disembarked, giddy at what we might find, we realized that it was not the final island. The needles of the log pose went haywire, refusing to point out a new destination. But there is one more island, and only by going there will the unprecedented circumnavigation of the globe be complete. Yeah. So Roger found out that we reached the end, but there's one more island. And I need to figure out how I'm supposed to reach this island. So he says there is 4 red stones carved with these letters that point the way to the island. The only problem is these are the poneglyphs that the world government has long forbidden anyone to read. You thought they were just cultural relics? Think again. They're the map that we need. The stories say that a vast treasure awaits on the final island, and the government says don't go there. That only makes the stories about treasure more believable. Obviously, if the government says, hey, don't look there, don't go there, then obviously everyone's going to be like, why not? Obviously, there has to be something there, right? So why would the government not want anybody to go there if there's nothing there? So obviously they're hiding something. And it says, if we can get there, we'll be the greatest pirate crew in the world in both name and fact. In the world, that's right. Then I'll be... And then it goes da da da. Then we hear flapping of the birds, and then we see Whitebeard and Odin both saying "huh," and we see this picture down here. So interesting note about this picture. I'll talk about it in the review, but it's basically a replica of the same panel that when Luffy said the same thing when he was kids with Sabo and Ace, when they were all kids in the flashback. When Luffy first said he was going to be the king of the pirates. Well, it doesn't really say, but it's the same thing where he says, then I'll be, and then it cuts him off, and then they're both like, huh, you're crazy. And then Roger just laughs. Grr. No, both laugh. He's like, wah ha ha ha. And then Whitebeard's like, grr rah 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 rah. Are you serious, Roger? What are you, a little boy? And then Odin's shook. He's like, I froze stiff. So remember, this is still Odin's flashback from his log. So this narration we're getting is from his log, I guess his diary or something. He says, I froze stiff for the second time today. I was stunned. Who was this man? So he's shook by Roger. He's like, this is the guy. And Roger says, help me out, Newgate. Let me borrow Odin for 1 year. It's the last thing I'll ever ask. With him, I'm certain that I can reach the final island. And Odin's like, what do you mean? Don't I get a say in this? And then they're the other pirates are saying, uh-oh, Captain Roger's bowing his head to Whitebeard. This can't be good news. Don't do this, Captain Roger. He's our enemy. And then Roger, with his head down, bowing, he says, please, Odin, come along on my travels just for 1 year. And then Odin says, no, stop. Don't embarrass yourself like this. Lift your head. Wow, right? Whitebeard is pissed. Look at that face. He says, absolutely not, Roger. Are you trying to steal my family from me? And it says, Pops is angry. Oh, wow. And he shook the island. Look at that. Just like in Marineford. With all with the ocean and all the quakes. It says, but my blood cried out to me. This is Odin's narration. It asked, why can the Kazuki clan read these letters? Why have I come across Roger at this moment in time? And then Odin says to Whitebeard, wait, Kichi. And then it says, before I knew it, the words were leaving my mouth on their own. I want to go with him. Will you let me? And then another one of those faces down here. He's like, you don't seem to like that. So it's a little running gag in this flashback right now. So it says, of course I don't like it. You and I are practically brothers. He says, it's only 1 year, White Kichi, please. And then we see the other Whitebeard pirates. We see Izo, Inorashi, Nekomamushi, Vista, and all them. And then, but Izo and Nekomamushi and Inorashi, they say, we choose to remain here. We like this ship. We will wait for you to return to it. And then Odin says, you have that right. You're fully fledged pirates now. We should all be free to choose. And then Whitebeard's pretty pissed. He's like, aren't you going to see him off, Pops? They said. Roger left behind all of the cargo he had on board as thanks. And they're all like, this stuff's worth a fortune. They're all excited. And look at all the food. So Roger gave everything he had for Odin. Wow. And then he says, give them back the food, you fools. Don't you dare let Odin's family go hungry. Yes, Pops, right away. Have the time of your life out there. So all the Whitebeard pirates saying bye to Odin. We'll be looking forward to your stories when you come back. So, look at Roger's ship. So we see this ship and it says, it was the second act of my life as a pirate. A new adventure had begun. White Kichi was a great man, but Roger, too, was off the charts. I am a lucky fellow. And we see Roger picking up Hiyori. He's like, I haven't spent time with a baby in ages. Momonosuke and Hiyori, eh? Reminds me of the old days, says Rayleigh. He's holding Momonosuke. I guess the old days. They must have been holding some babies. I guess maybe Buggy and Shanks. Says, we've got stowaways, Captain Roger. And we see Nekomamushi and Inorashi. They snuck on. And just like they're stowaways they're on the Whitebeard ship too. And it says, Dogstorm and Cat Viper, what are you doing here? Said Odin. It says, we just have the most fun watching you on your travels. And they're all happy. Hey, Dog and Cat are gone too. Those furry little. So everybody in the Whitebeard pirates found out that they're gone. And then we see the Roger pirates. They're all facing the page. And they're like, the captain only needs you for your knowledge. Got that, Odin? Don't just assume that we're going to accept you as one of us. And then the next panel we see Odin. He's like, a port town? Are there ingredients there? And then we see a big old explosions all around the town. And we see it says, pirates are attacking. And they're like, wait, Odin, don't attack the civilians. The captain's gonna kill you. Oh, he stole my daikon radishes. He stole my eggs. What? It's a lawless area. Oh, just get on with it then. A lawless area? Interesting. Maybe it's my town. Now they're like, Odin, Odin, Odin. And then they're all laughing. Yeah, ha, ha, ha. And they're having a banquet. They're partying down there. Yay. And like, Odin. He's like, that's me. I am Odin. And I was born to boil. And he does his little shtick. That's his catchphrase. I'm Odin and I was born to boil. Kind of tragic since that's how he died. Anyways, Crocus here I'd say he's got a year to live at best. So Crocus is evaluating Roger and he says he's got a year left to live. And Roger's like, wah ha ha ha. And then Odin's like, what? He's like, so you see, I've got to make my time left count. So we see them, oh snap, we see them go up the Nox stream. Oh wow, they're like, hey. They said it's an island in the sky. So they're going to Skypiea. Yo, this is when Roger carves that stuff in the poneglyph. And then they're all shocked. Odin, his narration continues. It says, the world is vast, even bigger than before. Not even the gods would believe that people live in the sky. And they're like, we found it all the way up here. And so we see the golden bell with the poneglyph. And Buggy's saying, look at all that gold. How are we going to take it back with us, Captain? He says, you can come back and get it when you're a captain, Buggy. I don't have time for this now. He's like, aw, not even a little piece. Doom. So we see the bell. So Roger's seen the bell and all that stuff. And he said, it was easy to find this stone. It's just packed full of strong voices. It's a great story of great power, isn't it? So Roger can hear the voice. Remember, he can hear the voice of all things. And he hears the voice of the poneglyph. And it says, the message speaks of a weapon named Poseidon, Odin says. Carve a message for me, Roger says to Odin. I hereby guide this document to its end. And that's what Robin read back in Skypiea. And it says, just like that. Well done, Odin. And then Odin's narration continues. It says, show it to me, Roger. Show me the final chapter of your grand life-spanning adventure. Doom. And that's the end of the chapter, guys. Whoo, what a chapter. What a way to end the decade. Holy crap, guys. Man, so all right, let's talk about this chapter. So let me go through it. So we start off with Odin. Odin's seen the pirates, and Odin's just like jumping into it. He's just immediately going to fight them, and he doesn't know that they're just normal pirates. And he goes in with his Gunmadoki 2-blade style, whoosh, and he slices through some noobs, and then Roger's like, let me handle this because Rayleigh and Scopper Gaban were gonna handle it, and then but Roger's like, no, you guys shouldn't get hurt. And he goes in with his fucking attack. Whoosh! Divine Departure. And that shit looks pretty epic. I probably got to draw this one and the other clash. These are some epic panels. And so Odin meets his match. And he's like stunned. He's like, huh? And he gets blown back. And that's when Whitebeard comes in. He's like, fuck this shit, cuz. And then, boom, that clash. Sheesh. So they fight. And then it's 3 days. And then all the time. So I guess for the 3 days, they had a ceasefire. Meaning they were kind of fair in that they didn't fight nonstop. Obviously, they fought. And then they're like, all right, guys, let's take a break. Let's sleep. Ceasefire. And then we'll come back and fight later on. So they had that. But This is where the first thing I want to talk about. Buggy says that Teach didn't sleep at all during the ceasefire. He never sleeps. So Blackbeard has always been a mystery, guys. It's hard to see how Blackbeard kind of has to do with the ending. Obviously, he'll probably be one of the last villains. Maybe he'll be the one to reach Laugh-Tale. Who knows? Like, maybe he'll reach it before Luffy. Maybe he'll be his final opponent before. Hard to say where Blackbeard fits in the narrative in the future, but we know that he's been a mystery character for a long time, and one of the main reasons is because he's the only person who can eat 2 devil fruits. And so he's the only one with 2 devil fruits, and they said one of the explanations for that was that his body was weird. Marco said that. So Marco has known Teach. Teach has been on the Whitebeard Pirates for a long time. So Marco knows something. He knows something about his body being weird. And here we learn that he never sleeps. Now, there was a theory way back in the day that when Oda drew Blackbeard Teach when he was little, he shown him with the moon, the crescent moon, and him sitting down in like kind of fetal position, like just with his arms wrapped around his knees, and he's crying and he's sad, and it looks like there's like a little bit of if you look at it closely, it looks like there's snow under his feet. So some people are thinking that because if you go back and read Drum Kingdom arc, the one with Chopper, there's a part where Luffy says to Sanji when they're taking Nami up to the castle, Luffy says how he was told a long time ago that there are actually people who never sleep in the snow. People who live in the snow don't ever sleep. And Sanji said that was ridiculous and just shrugged it off. But he said some guy in a bar, like a tavern, told him. And maybe that was Shanks. Maybe Shanks had told someone and like it got around. But like maybe Shanks knows that Blackbeard is somebody that doesn't sleep. And it's interesting to think about someone who doesn't sleep, because I made that connection. I was like, wait, Cavendish doesn't really sleep, because Cavendish, when he falls asleep, he goes into his second alter ego, his other form. So I was thinking, is there a connection between Cavendish and Teach? Maybe there's two entities inside of Blackbeard. Maybe that's why he can eat 2 devil fruits. Maybe there's 3 entities. I don't know, but maybe there's like a multiple personality thing. Maybe there's multiple people to where he doesn't sleep. Because I know, kind of like Fight Club. I don't know if you guys know anything about Fight Club. If you read the book is way better than the movie. First of all, they cut a lot of stuff from the book in the movie, but I read the book, and the book basically talks about how it goes into more depth of the psychological aspect of it, and how the main character, he doesn't have a name, but how he kind of loses track of time, and he feels like his days are blurred, and it's like he wakes up in places that he doesn't know. And so another thing about mental illness when it has to do with multiple personality is that they tend to stay awake, and when they shift to another personality, sometimes some personalities are not aware of other personalities. So maybe his original self is, well, like in Fight Club, his original self was not aware of his I forgot his name, the guy from Fight Club, his alter ego. But the alter ego knows of his original self. So maybe maybe there's some blurred line with Blackbeard. But I don't know. It just raises a lot of questions about Blackbeard, and the fact that he can't sleep. The fact that there's been theories that he has multiple personalities inside of him, and that's why he can eat multiple devil fruits. And hopefully we can get more information on Blackbeard. But anyways, so that's the first thing I wanted to really kind of get into in this review. And the Another thing, Roger names the last island, so it's kind of like the second to last island. So once you're basically what the log pose points to is this Lodestar Island, and from there you're supposed to have gotten the 4 red poneglyphs so that you can know how to get to Raftel. So interesting. So Roger learned that the hard way 13 years ago. So this is another interesting thing. I did the math, and it turns out that when they said it all started 13 years ago, so 13 years ago was the first time he reached the Lodestar Island. That's a long ass time. So he's been just going around for 13 years collecting poneglyphs, just being a pirate. But the 13 years is interesting because at this time, I believe Shanks is either 13 or 14 years old, and Buggy. So maybe that reference before when they're holding when Odin joins Roger and they have Momonosuke and Hiyori, and Roger says, "Oh, it's just like the good old times," and he's like, we haven't done this in ages." Maybe maybe Shanks and Buggy are from the last island. Maybe the last island isn't empty. Maybe the last island actually has people living on it. And maybe Shanks is from that island. Maybe Shanks was a baby. Maybe he was an orphan. Maybe it's God Valley. But they say they wiped it off the earth. But maybe God Valley is Lodestar. Nah, that wouldn't make sense because Roger went to God Valley. Anyways, but I don't know. But the ages match the time. So when if Shanks was picked up when he was born and that Roger had him as a baby, then it would have picked him up during the last year of them reaching Lodestar Island. Anyways, just wanted to make that clarification real quick. Anyways, so let me pull up. I think it's chapter 585. So you guys look at this. So you guys see this parallel. So obviously the parallel between Roger and Luffy is pretty apparent right now. But if it's not apparent enough, here we see Roger and Whitebeard and Odin making the same face as they did before when see, look, so down here we see Luffy. He says, "Hee hee, okay, then I'll," and then he says, "Then I'll want to be," and then it says da da da, and then he doesn't say it, and then they're just like, "Huh?" And just like Odin, so Sabo here, he's got a band-aid on his nose, just like Odin, and Ace here has a band-aid on his forehead, just like Whitebeard. So Ace, Whitebeard, Sabo, Odin, Luffy, Roger. So then he just laughs, ha ha ha, and then so that's a direct, obviously a direct correlation there. So just wanted to point that out real quick, and then Odin kind of just goes on the adventures with Roger. Let me see. Let's go back to the chapter. So Roger asks if Odin can come. Whitebeard gets pissed. He shakes the island, but Odin. It came down to Odin. He actually said he wanted to go. He was shook by Roger. He was stunned twice, so he really felt that calling within him. He says, "Before I knew it, the words were leaving my mouth on their own." And Whitebeard didn't like that at all. But like you said, it's only 1 year, so he goes with him for 1 year. I mean, that's all Roger has to live anyway. So Roger got fucking lucky as fuck to have met Odin. So all of this is just fate, just destiny. Like the fact that Odin left when he left, the fact that Whitebeard came when he did, and the fact that Whitebeard found the Roger pirates when he did, and then the fact that they talked about this and all this stuff, everything, just like everything had to happen in this order in order for things to go down the way they went down. And so then they learn to love Odin here, and then they go to Skypiea, guys. Skypiea. So that's pretty hype for those who skipped Skypiea. Shame on you. Skypiea is the quintessential One Piece arc. It basically encapsulates everything about One Piece. Honestly, it's kind of like a mini One Piece story of the whole story. Like it's basically Um, honestly, it's like a self-contained arc, and the One Piece being the gold bell and or something like that. But I don't know. I think Skypiea is a great arc, and the fact that we learned more about poneglyphs during that arc, and the fact that we learned that Roger had been to Skypiea, and Gonfall knew Roger, so Gonfall must have met Odin too, and Odin's the one that actually wrote the characters for Roger that said, "I hereby guide this document." So yeah, so next chapter is gonna be hype. We know that Oda recently he was talking about, I think it was Jump Festa. He was saying how he needs to be careful doing Odin's flashback because he might end up revealing everything of all the secrets of One Piece right now. He might end up revealing what the One Piece is. He might end up revealing the secrets. So this flashback isn't over, but I feel like it's soon. I feel like maybe next chapter we'll learn more about the final year of Roger, and maybe we'll learn when he reaches Laugh Tale. And maybe we'll see. We'll probably get. I think it'll just be like when he reaches Laugh Tale, and then that'll be it. And hopefully, the flashbacks will still continue to go after Roger's adventure, because it shouldn't be. It's not Roger's flashback, right? This is Odin's flashback. This started with Odin, and we got to end it with Odin. And so we have to learn what happens. What happens between, because we don't know what happens with Odin after Roger Pirates disbanded. Odin goes back to Wano, right? Of course. And then what happened with Kaido? Where does Kaido come in? Is Kaido pissed that Roger became the Pirate King, and then he takes over Wano? So we got to learn what happens with Kaido, Orochi, and how Odin dies, and then the prophecy and all that stuff. Then we have to see what happens with Denjiro, and then hopefully I probably think maybe at tops 5 more chapters of the flashback. Maybe I would say more around 4. I want to say 4 is a good number. 3 would be he would have to be speeding through the flashback if it's 3, but I think like 4 or 5 is a good number, and I think that'll end the flashback, and then we can get back to the raid. So yeah, so that's the manga review, and yeah, so great chapter. I'm gonna rate this one 10 out of 10. Honestly, it's a perfect chapter for me. A plus chapter. Everything I want to. I love the art in here. Like I showed you guys, Roger Whitebeard. That's amazing. Some crazy revelations in here. Teach. We learn more about Teach, not never sleeping. We learn about freaking Skypiea. So everything is just A1 on this chapter, guys. So that's going to wrap it up for this section of the video / podcast. And stay tuned for a little bit. I'm going to cut real quick and come back about the anime review. So. Alright guys, I'm back again, this time with the anime reviews. So it's actually been a while since I last seen this episode, but it's very vivid in my mind because what a fucking episode, guys. 9:15. Basically, it's the one shot heard around the world. It's the shot heard around the bluey, guys. So as you manga readers already know, you already knew what this episode was about. But Toei, gotta give it props to you guys. Props to you guys, Toei, the animation studio. You guys really stretched this fight out. In the manga, it happened really quickly. We, as a fan base, we really actually loved the pacing of this. We loved how quickly it went from it was all one chapter. From the moment Luffy, it was one page when Luffy got mad, got Gear Third, punched Kaido. That's how the chapter ended. Then, the next chapter was when was just the whole fight. And Toei was able to stretch it out like 2 or 3 episodes. First, it was the blast, and then it ended before the punch. The manga actually ended with the punch, so there's that. And then the next episode was like basically the first half of the fight, and then the third episode is the second half of the fight. So the fight basically goes down like this: Luffy is pissed off at Kaido. Kaido's in dragon form. Luffy, before not even turning Gear Fourth, he just like bah 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 in Gear Third, just like going at him with Grizzly Magnums, with elephant guns, just beating him up. Kaido's just taking this shit. He's drunk as fuck, and he's just getting beat the fuck up. In the anime, but I mean, I gotta give it props. You guys gotta watch this episode. If there's any episode you guys gotta watch in this arc so far, it's gotta be these episodes because the animation is top quality, guys. It's honestly, in my opinion, it's not as good as the final episode of Luffy versus Katakuri. To me, that is still the top quality, but it reached close to that. So if I would rate Luffy versus Katakuri, the last episode, the one when he goes Snake Man, from Snake Man, the Snake Man fight, period of Luffy versus Katakuri, if I'm going to rate that at 10 out of 10, then this is like a 9.5 out of 10. It's pretty good, pretty up there, and he's being on Kaido though. But in the manga, it happened the same. Luffy was just beating the shit out of Kaido, and it just seemed, I initially from reading the manga, I got the vibe that Kaido doesn't give a fuck about who he fights. Honestly, like he's super reckless. He's suicidal. He doesn't care about blocking or dodging, or like he's just gonna go face forward. He's a tank. Like he's just gonna let people punch him, and then he's just gonna one shot you. Like that's the impression I got when I read the manga. So when he's drunk as fuck and Luffy's going ham on him, I feel like he's not even aware of what the fuck's going on yet. Like like his reflexes are slow. He's slow to be aware of what the hell's going on. So Luffy beats him up. He actually knocks him out of his dragon form, and then he turns into his human form. So then once he turns into his human form, I think this is when he actually acknowledges that this is Luffy. No, I think no. He went right before he turned. So he was still in his dragon form. So I remember it now. So Luffy's pissed. He goes down there. He remembers because he sees Speed. He remembers about Tama, and he gets pissed off about Tama. And he feels guilty about not taking Tama. He said he should have gone and made sure she was safe. And so he goes down. He yells Kaido. He's like, "I'm right here. It's me, Luffy." And then he yells out like, "I'm gonna be the king of the pirates." And he says that, and then Kaido blasts him. Luffy jumps. Then he punches him, and that's when he knocks him out of dragon form. Then Kaido's there, and he just kind of like just takes the hits, and Luffy's still going at him. And then it's just like from the manga, I gotta show you. From the manga, I liked how. Let me see. I liked how it kind of showed how nonchalant Kaido was. Like he just really didn't care. He really was just like, meh. Is this the right one? No. 925, right? Is it 925? Should be. No. 924? No, 923. Chapter 923. So it's based on chapter 923. So yeah, so he knocks him out, and then he does a gum elephant gun. No, elephant Gatling. So he's just beating the shit like with big ass hands, just Gatling, just da 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 da. And he's just taking the hits. He gets knocked out, and then he's just like, oh, he's just turning. And then Luffy goes Gear Fourth. This is when he goes ham. He goes Gear Fourth, but but the thing is, the difference between the manga and the anime is the anime really stretched this out. They added a lot more attacks. They made it seem like Kaido was actually fighting back a little bit. When he was in his dragon form, he did like a tail whip. He kind of did like some attack. Like they made it seem like he was more aware and more willing to fight against Luffy than the manga did. Like here, like right here, as you guys can see in this double spread, not once does like Kaido really like fight. Like he's just taking the hits. Luffy just beating. It's just panel of him beating. Just panels and panels and panels of Luffy beating him up. And so when the fandom, when people are saying like, oh, like why did they make it seem like Luffy was actually strong and holding his own? Like that's what the manga did. Like the manga had him like beating the shit out of Kaido. But it honestly came off as like Kaido letting him. And so they said he grew bigger, so he says Gear 4 down on Gum Gum, and then look at this little sliver of a panel right here of Kaido. See, like that's these little things that Oda adds. Like he didn't have to add that. He could have just made the whole panel of him just hitting the organ, but he decided to add that picture in there specifically of him just looking up like, okay. Like he doesn't really care. He's acknowledging and looking at him, and he just takes it. He just takes the punches, and then here too, he's just taking all the punches over there, and then even down here, he blasts Kaido far away. Like so, he's actually like tossing him, beating him up. So it's just a punch, and boom, he takes it right there. Boom, he takes it right there. So throughout the whole time, Luffy's just punching him, not even having to dodge. Luffy didn't even have to dodge because Kaido still hasn't even tried to attack yet. So Kaido gets knocked down and gets up, and then when he gets up right here, he's just like, he grabs his stone, and then we see Kaido's face, we see Luffy's face of worry, and we see the dash lines. You see the dash lines right there, and then boom, like that's all we see, and then we see this, like. He just speed blitzes Luffy. Like, Luffy didn't even have a chance to dodge. He just gets up, grabs his thing, and then just fucking beats the shit. Thunder Bagua just beats the shit. And then I love the one thing I didn't like about the anime is that they didn't cut it. They just changed this part around. In the manga, right after he beats him, he says, "And what king was that, boy?" And so, that was just like, I mean, from the moment Luffy said, "I'm Luffy, I'm going to be the king of the pirates," then he transformed and started beating on Kaido. Kaido wasn't even phased because the next thing that was said was, "And what kind of king is that, boy?" And he just took all that, one shot him, and then boom. Like, to me, that just shows that Kaido is on another fucking level. But they really milked this in the anime. But it was good. It was good. I like how they adapted it a little bit. They did make it seem that Kaido tried to attack Luffy a little bit more, and Luffy was like able to dodge some, was able to block some things, but all at the end, the ending was still fine because they had Luffy do a King Kong gun, and then that hit. It was kind of like Katakuri and Luffy, where they both hit each other at the same time. Luffy hits Kaido in the stomach, but it doesn't really phase him, and then Kaido just blasts Luffy's face. It's in slow motion, and he gets blasted. And then, so that's how the episode ends. It ends with Luffy unconscious, and then he says, it goes into a little bit of the next chapter where he talks about how he's still glaring at him. But yeah, so. Next episode should be pretty good. It's basically going to be the ending of Act 1, I believe, unless they somehow try to stretch it out into 2 episodes. But basically, they're going to be taking Luffy to the prison, and then we're going to see everybody's reaction to Luffy being imprisoned. And it's basically the chapter where they're like, they make that weird face. So we're going to be seeing that next episode, and should be the end of Act 1. So that's crazy. Really excited for Act 2. Act 2 is probably, I think, is double the length of Act 1. So it's going to be going for a while. Yeah, so yeah, that's the end of the anime review section. That's basically all I have to say. I just want to sum it up real quick. They stretched out the Luffy Kaido fight, but regardless of them stretching it out, regardless of them taking their own liberties of the adaptation, I loved it. I liked it. I'm not gonna criticize it. It is a little different in the manga. The manga made it seem like Kaido was more overpowered, more OP, faster with the speed blitz in that panel. They stretched it out more in the anime, but that's okay. We got better animation for it, so that's good. It was a good fight. All in all, I'd rate the episode about 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I like it. I liked it. It's not the best. It was just a long fight. But it was pretty epic. Seeing Kaido go in like that, him one shot, Luffy like that, Luffy just going away like that. It was pretty good. The animation was top quality, and yeah, the only thing I have to knock it for, like I said, is the pacing. To just stretched it out, and yeah. So that's gonna be the end of this anime portion. Stay tuned for the homekeeping part, the ending of this video podcast. Stay tuned. I'm going to be talking about a little bit of the future videos I'm going to be doing, what my podcast slash video YouTube thing I'm going to be doing for the future, and what's coming ahead. So stay tuned if you guys want to know a little bit more about that. But that's going to be the end of the video, end of the podcast. So stay tuned for a little bit though. Catch me there. So peace. All right, guys. So this is the section at the end of the video of the podcast I like to call the housekeeping. I got that term off of the Tiger Belly podcast. So shout outs to y'all. Anyways, so let me just start off by, if you guys like the video, if you guys like my content, please like and subscribe. I'm on YouTube, like on YouTube, subscribe to me on YouTube, Baker Turtle. Follow me on YouTube. I'm on also, this is in podcast form, so go ahead and follow me on all podcast platforms like Castbox, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Anywhere you can look, just search Baker Turtle. It's 2 words, so there's a space in between. Search Baker Turtle and you'll see my Jolly Roger. And yeah, so go ahead and subscribe and like if you like the video or the podcast, whatever. But anyways, just want to say thank you all. I just want to say thank you so much for listening to the podcast, watching this video, giving me your time. Your time is the most valuable thing to me, and I'm so grateful that you guys chose to spend your time listening to my podcast or watching the video. And yeah, so I do want to do these videos. I do want to do the podcast more and more. And yeah, and this is only my second YouTube video. I'm going to be doing these more from now on. I think it's something I want to transition into doing. And as I keep doing it more and more, I'll be getting better. So as you guys can tell with my new setup, last video I was in a different room. It was just improvised video. I was just in a really it was kind of in our storage room. I just needed it to get away from people so I can have the room to myself, silence, and be able to talk freely as ever I want without being disturbed. But I'm able to get this room now, and I set up all of my, not all of it is mine, but basically all the One Piece stuff that I have. This is my friend Frankie. He comes over here. Carlos. This is his Frankie statue that he keeps over here. And then he has all the mini ships. I think I have the Going Merry, or I think that's Luffy's or something. I don't know. But the Sunny is mine, and the Luffy is mine, and the Chopper in the Sunny. So hope you guys like my little setup here. Just don't pay attention over here. But yeah, so I'm gonna make it the setup a little bit better. I'm gonna hopefully try to edit a little bit better, try transitions and stuff. And I want to do more videos besides my reaction videos and the reviews and stuff like that. So I know that if you guys are into the One Piece community on YouTube or Twitter, all that stuff, you guys probably know who King of Lightning is and Roger's Base is and Joy Boy and Tekking and Brago and all those guys. And shout outs to you guys, Sawyer 7 Mage as well. So if you guys ever come across this video or whatever, just shout out to you guys. Thanks, you guys are my inspiration for my One Piece videos. Thank you guys for doing what you do. But I do know that Brago recently said that he put out his top 30 video. So I want to make my own top 30 strongest characters video. I already have my list. I've posted it on Twitter, and I think on the comment section of Brago's video. But I will also be making a video of my own. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it. I know he did it with videos, but I don't really know how to edit right now that much with videos. I'm still new to this, so I'm going to be trying to maybe do some pictures. But I'll be doing I'll just go from 30 to number 1. 30, I'll start off just a little sneak peek. I got Hancock at number 30, so I'll probably put Hancock. I put maybe a picture of her, and I'll probably like transition to other pictures of Hancock as I talk about why I have her where she is at number 30, and then go on and I'll transition to number 29, 28, and then each with their own pictures and stuff like that. So I think that's how I'm going to go about with the video. It's going to take me a while to do it, so please be patient with that. It will come out, but I can't say exactly when. But I still will be doing my other videos, my other podcasts, episodes as well. I will be doing a new podcast really soon because it's almost my 1 year anniversary of the podcast. So shout outs for that. Glad to be doing that for a whole year. It's New Year's is when I started the podcast, and yeah, so I have about 50 episodes out. So 50 in a year, that's pretty good. I've been keeping pretty consistent, even though from like January to May, like 4 months I took a break. I stopped doing the podcast, but I got back into it and made it more consistent. So thanks for everybody who has been following my podcast. You're my first fans. Thanks very much for helping me keep going and being an audience for me to talk to. Thanks. And so as far as my YouTube videos are going to be going, I'll be doing these reviews, but also if you guys haven't noticed or checked out, but I'm also uploading my Pokemon draft videos. So if you guys like Pokemon at all, I do play competitive Pokemon, and I play draft leagues. Draft leagues is basically like a fantasy football, like fantasy sports draft league, where we take turns in a draft, snake order, picking Pokemon for our team. And because of the short amount of Pokemon, the little amount of Pokemon available in the newest game, as some of you guys should know, there was some controversy about the fact that they don't have a national dex this generation, this game. It's only a certain amount of Pokemon. So since there's only a certain amount available, we cut the team down. So we have 8 Pokemon each team. I've drafted my team. Go ahead. I will link all that stuff down in the description of my other videos if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, I have some Pokemon videos of me with my new team. And then I have a team analysis and ranking of all the other teams in the draft league. So go ahead and check those out. I will be posting my battles as well live. Well, not live. They won't be live streamed. But I will be screen recording my tablet as I'm battling. So you'll get my commentary as I'm battling live. And then I think I will also have a team builder video. Obviously, that won't come out before my battle. I'll have that recorded, and then I'll keep it until I have my battle, and then I'll post my team builder video along with my battle video. And so I have 2 videos about my battle each week, the team builder and then the battle itself. So stay tuned for that. That should be starting next week. I think next week should be my battle. And yeah, so I think I'm going to end this here, guys. It's just about an hour. Hour is perfect for a podcast or a video like this. I know it's a long time for you guys, but go ahead and just speed through it. Speed it up. I mean, you're already at the end anyway. So, but for future, you guys can speed up the video or the podcast and listen to it like that. But again, I'm just gonna sign off here, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and much love to you guys. If you get, like I said, give me a like, follow. Before I go, just a little quick, my handles. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm at BakerTurtle17 on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, BakerTurtle17, and then those are my personal accounts. For Instagram, you can check out my art. I did October One Piece themed, so go ahead and check that out. I'm on Twitter. I'm very active there. I talk a lot about One Piece, so go ahead and follow me there. If you guys want to just be notified of stuff about the podcast, I have a podcast account for Twitter and Instagram. For Twitter, it's at BakerTurtlePod, and for the Instagram, it's at Baker_Turtle_podcast. So other than that, take care, guys. Thanks for giving me your time. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, whatever you guys want to do, or not, just exit out right now. But I love you guys, I really do, and thanks for listening. Peace.